Welcome. This is the Liberty Mom Show on KMMU.org, and I'm your host, Dalane England. Liberty Moms are the original secretaries of defense. We are the real defenders of the home front, and we are there when it comes to defending our families and our communities. I'm so excited to have a really great Liberty Mom with us today. Her name is Corinne Johnson. She has definitely been on the front lines, and we're going to be talking about an extremely important issue. The bill that we passed, we worked very, very hard, and she worked very hard to get this bill passed. And we're going to be talking about it, and we don't have a lot of time, and we want you to pay attention and focus up because this is very important that you understand what is really going on. Corinne, I'm so sorry. I don't even remember the number of the bill.
It's House Bill 267. It's often called the Union Reform Bill or the Union Bill. And that's the bill we're going to talk about today.
Okay. Yeah. So this bill, we have tried to pass this bill, honestly, for 20 years.
Yes.
Honestly,
I've been working on it for 3, so I'm glad I haven't had to do all 20.
Yeah, we have been trying for 20 years, and not consistently, not every year, but we tried 20 years ago, maybe even longer, and then just kept, every few years bringing it up. And it was, to me, miraculous that we were able to pass it this year. I was so thrilled. And then we even got the governor
to sign it. Yes, quickly too.
Yes,
we passed this bill at the beginning of the session. Mm-hmm. The governor, was one of the very first bills he signed, because we wanted to send this message very clearly that we have a big problem in Utah.
Yes.
And this bill was the solution. And as parents are learning about this issue, the only thing they're going to hear from the protect workers, and this is a PIC, we call it a public issues campaign. And the PIC is called Protect Utah Workers. And the only thing you're ever going to hear from Protect Utah Workers on this bill is that this bill takes away workers' rights. And that is the biggest lie I've ever heard. It's not true. And there is a huge problem in Utah. And the problem is with unregulated union power and union control, especially from the UEA, that's the Utah Education Association, which is supported and funded by the NEA, the National Education Association, and also their efforts to subvert the good work and the constitutional and the conservative work that our legislature has done for the last, 20 years in the state of Utah. And so when we talk about this bill, what we're really discussing is reining in corrupt spending and unregulated power of teachers' unions in the state of Utah. And it is not about workers' rights. And that is the key issue.
Still have the same rights they always have. This does not take away. And
rights are taken away from workers.
They're presenting this very falsely in a way that's not accurate. That is scaring people and thinking, oh, not only are our teachers not going to be protected, and teachers are buying into it because they listen to their union, which they shouldn't. They listen to their union and they're believing that they won't have protection, and they're believing that it does offend them. Plus the police officers and the firemen have gotten wrapped in here too. And so they're
and we can talk about them for a second, Dalane. Okay. So police and fire, they do have unions, but the only police and fire unions that actually engage in collective bargaining. And collective bargaining is the process that breeds corruption in unions. It is creating backdoor deals in backdoor rooms with only 1 or 2 individuals present. They make all sorts of negotiations for taxpayer perks and funding. And the police and fire stopped that practice a long time ago, except for Salt Lake City, of course, right? Of course, it's in Salt Lake City where we have this practice still going on, right? But all across the rest of the state, they stopped this because they wanted to have better representation for police and fire, and they wanted to have transparency in the process for police and fire. And since they stopped the practice of collective bargaining, there has been an increase in pay, a massive increase in pay for firefighters and police across the state of Utah. There's been huge wage wars, there's been competition, and they actually have improved their reputation and have been able to weed out corrupt and bad cops. And it has absolutely changed the culture in our police and fire to from the 80s. You remember the 80s, we were dealing with all this corrupt cop stuff, right? This practice has practically disappeared. And now we are so proud to support our public workers, our police and fire. But this practice of collective bargaining has remained in place in our teachers' unions, and it has become more and more and more entrenched, Dalane, to the point where we have school districts who are creating collective bargaining contracts with school districts that negotiate in retirement benefits for non-public workers, that negotiate in creating paid time off, about 10 days a year, paid leave for them to engage in political activity. And we say political activity because the unions support and promote legislation. And if you go to the UEA website, you can find their bill trackers. And they say, oh, we're not political, but they have a bill tracker and they have paid lobbyists, and they go up to the Hill and they push legislation that is opposing everything that Utah stands for. So I encourage people to go look at their bill tracker. A great example right now is they oppose school choice, and they filed the lawsuit against school choice in Utah, which the majority of parents support. Second, they oppose the flag bill. 62% of Utah, 67, I think, the latest poll was 67% of Utahns support neutrality in schools and in government buildings. UEA opposed that. They opposed the bill that stops the mutilation of children through transgender surgeries. They opposed that, Dalane. They opposed the bill that protects girls and keeps boys out of girls' sports. They opposed the bill that keeps biological males out of our girls' locker rooms and hotel rooms and bathrooms in our schools. Their agenda is absolutely contrary to Utah's, yet our taxpayer dollars are funding the UEA through these perks that are negotiated into these collective bargaining agreements. So we saw this massive problem when the UEA pushed our schools to be shut during COVID, Dalane, and every parent remembers we're trying to get our kids back in school. And the Salt Lake City Union successfully kept that Salt Lake City school district closed for an additional year. And those children have suffered drastically because of that. They have the lowest test scores in the state. Those kids did not get the education they deserved. And that was driven by the union. And as parents, we saw this and we're like, we've got to start fixing this problem. And then when we found out we were funding them with our own taxpayer dollars, like our taxpayer dollars are propping them up. And then that money is going onto the NEA, the National Education Association, which promotes just as damaging philosophies that hurt kids and families, right? We said we've got to fix this. So Jordan Tusher was amazing. Like I said, our organization worked on this bill 3 years in a row. When we saw what you saw, right? This has been going on for 20 years. So we saw it. And so we worked with him to try and pass this bill. And it was miraculous it passed. But the minute it passed, of course, the UEA is going to try and undo this legislation that is there to protect families, to protect children, and to protect taxpayer dollars. This is
this is where it really, it's like they get to be liberal. They get to have their views. They get to oppose the families. They have a right to oppose the families and what's best for families. They do. The problem is they don't get to do it using our money against us.
Exactly.
They do not have a constitutional right or authority to use our money. And we're not saying they should be disbanded or they shouldn't speak. We're not even saying they can't go to the Capitol and lobby legislators. We're saying get your own money. Do not use our money, and do not force teachers who disagree with you to fund your agenda that they don't agree with.
100%.
That's where the real problem is. It's like we can't keep funding. And their argument is, as you hear over and over, is like, well, the teachers that don't want to are still benefiting. And I'm like, no, they're not benefiting from your representation. They're being destroyed by your representation. Because I think that it's somewhat clear. I don't know how someone doesn't see it, but I know people don't. But really, they are not invested in protecting teachers.
No.
They have an agenda they are invested in protecting, and it is not in the best interest of teachers. And I just invite teachers because I'm telling you, I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher at a private school, so I'm not like, I will just say I love teachers so much. And
Me
not
too.
I am one because I see what teachers do. I see how much they are impacting and how much they do for their students. I just have such a love for teachers. I work with teachers from the public school sector, the charter sector, homeschool, private school, I work with a lot of these teachers, and I just think they are just so amazing. I just love them. They're amazing people. They're great teachers. And I see what is happening is they are not being represented at all. And our children are not being represented. And this is happening at the expense of our children and the expense of our teachers.
And teachers are afraid, Dalane, because there's so much power in the UEA and all of the organizations under them. So like the Davis Education Association, the Granite Education Association, these are not independent associations. So all of these associations, they are required to funnel their dues to the UEA, which is required to funnel dues to the NEA. So they're all linked. So when we talk about the NEA and the UEA, we are talking about your local education association as well. And many teachers are trying to separate those little associations. No, the Granite Association is great and the Davis Association is great, but the money and the dues are funneling to the same agendas. And these teachers, when we've asked teachers who are not union members to speak about the way they feel bullied, the way they feel like they don't have a voice in their schools. If they're not part of the union, they get treated differently.
Oh, they get treated very differently.
And they're terrified to go public. And we've actually thought about like doing one of those classic videos where like you put a blank screen over their face and muffle their voice, because that's the only way they will feel comfortable speaking out against the union. And that type of representation, that is not good representation for teachers, for anyone. If you don't feel like you can speak out and have a voice in your union representation, then that's a problem. And
that's not representing you when you can't even you can't even voice how you feel. And I know so many teachers who feel that way. So many.
They come to us all the time, and they're so grateful that this option is here, because what it does is it says, yes, we can still have the UEA, they can still have a union, they can still have membership, they can do all the things you said, but they aren't the sole collective agent any longer. So now the school district can listen to many different organizations. And the fastest growing teachers organization in the nation is actually the Christian Educators Association. And I just love that there's another voice out there. The American Educators Association is also a wonderful representative group for teachers. These are private organizations, but there's no reason to come to Utah. There's no reason to come and build something here, because when it comes time to negotiate salary, there's one seat at the table, and that is negotiated through collective bargaining. So if we end collective bargaining, then the school district can open up the table. And we know what that does to representation. When you have more voices and more engagement, you get better representation. And I think it's really exciting, the future that we can have for teachers. And we're not asking teachers to go negotiate all by themselves. And I know that that really stresses them out. We're saying there can be many representatives. Another thing that teachers forget, or the public forgets, is that our school boards are elected. They have an elected representative that can represent them, that actually does the budget, that chooses their pay, that can make changes for teachers. And
that's where the power is.
Yes. And so if we shift the power back to our elected representatives, away from the superintendents, away from their bureaucracy, away from the unions, then we can have a beautiful system that is based on a true Democrat Republic process, which is what our founders envisioned. So we're restoring a republic process. And these are government paid employees, and they have representation on their school boards. They also have legislators who represent them, Dalane. And we have seen over the last 6 years, especially, the legislature see how the unions are not being a voice for teachers. And the legislature is going around the union and around the administrators, as administrator pay goes like this, right? Like skyrockets, and then teacher pays like this, we've seen the charts, right? Like,
absolutely.
Okay, the legislature is going around them. The legislature has approved the largest pay raise, direct pay raise to teachers. They're not putting it they're not giving it to the district anymore. They're giving it right to the teachers' paychecks. They've approved massive stipends, tax credits, stipends, specialized pay, bonuses. They've moved to a merit pay system so that we can reward good teachers. Yes. And the union protects, and I know bad apples. There are bad apples.
There are always bad apples in everything. And why would we, as a teacher, I don't want the bad apples protected. That's not in my interest. No real teacher wants the bad apples protected. No one does. That doesn't even make any sense. And
Yeah.
that's why does the union do that? And they do. They protect the bad apples. 100%.
They protect the bad apples, and they say it's to protect the profession. But if we really want to protect the profession of teachers, then we need to have teachers and administrators and superintendents all over saying, hey, that teacher, and we have this chart. We just had the news about this charter school principal, right? That it's just devastating. What happened in that situation. And we need to be saying, hey, those are not the examples of teachers. And we shouldn't be protecting these teachers. And the UEA has a protectionist culture. And that's something that we're trying to shift with this legislation. This legislation does a great job of that. It provides alternative, what they call liability insurance for teachers too.
Yeah.
So a teacher can get their insurance.
Teachers feel like they can't get it anywhere else. It costs a fortune. So that's very helpful.
So those are just some highlights of why this bill is so important and why it's really crucial for conservatives to support this legislation. And if you have a few more minutes, I can tell everybody kind of where we are in terms of the process.
Yeah, because I want to talk about, they went out and gathered signatures. They have twice as many as they need, so that probably will be on the ballot. And I really want to talk about that so we as citizens know what we can do and do it based on truth, not based on a false narrative.
Yes. So most likely, I mean, they have verified that they received the signatures they need in 15 districts. So this will be on the ballot, and most likely this year, 2026, November of this year, it will be on the ballot. And this is where we need to get the word out as conservatives and as freedom-loving Liberty moms and dads and grandparents all across the state. We need to be able to talk to our neighbors. We need to be able to share that we want to vote for, and it should be called ballot referendum 1. That's probably what it will be. There will only be one referendum, so it will be ballot referendum 1, and we want to vote for it. We want to vote for HB 267 to stay in place. And when we vote for,
I didn't realize it was going to be worded that way.
So we get to be the 4. We're the 4. It's a great position. We get to vote for kids, for teachers, for taxpayer dollars accountability. We get to vote for a republic process. All of these things, we get to vote for that to support House Bill 267. So we're going to be a yes or a 4 on ballot referendum 1. And we're going to be doing campaigns. So we will have grassroots campaigns, door knocking campaigns. You might have seen our Kids Not Unions campaign that Utah Parents United is running. And we just think that's the most powerful message because it gets right to the heart of what this is. It's kids, not unions. We're going to put our kids first in Utah, take back our education system. So go to utahparentsunited.org, and right on our homepage, you'll see our Kids Not Unions campaign. And there's a tremendous amount of information we've built into this webpage. Everything from what does the bill do? Why does it exist? What is the UEA? What do they stand for? What does the NEA stand for? What has the legislature done for teachers? All of this information I've shared really quick is all there. And we'll also be creating flyers that will be coming soon where you can actually print out a flyer right from our website, and you'll be able to share that with your neighbors. You can, if you're a precinct chair or a delegate, you can knock your precinct. Like this is where we just all need to come together to support this. And I'm telling you, the NEA alone, their disclosures, you can go look at what they spent. They flooded the state with $2.4 million to get their signatures. They have unlimited
$2.4
money.
million in Utah. To get the signatures to get their power back because they did not like losing all that. That tells you everything.
It tells you everything you need to know. And our organization on our little campaign spent like less than 1% of that because we don't have, like, we're not millionaires, we're parents. We don't have the resources of the NEA. And there are other conservative groups around the state and nationwide who are watching Utah and this battle who will come and support us. But we need help from parents. So if you want to donate to help Utah Parents United with our message, please do so. Go to utahparentsunited.org. There's a donate link and donate to us because all of that money we can just funnel it right into this education resources. We don't have to create a PIC. because we can disclose our political activity through our C4. So it allows us to just really be able to get out this message to parents and across the state. And follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, wherever you follow us, and we will continue to share this ongoing effort to win this on the ballot.
Follow it and share it. We've got to get the word out, because most people don't even know the bill passed. They know little to nothing about it. And, people, I didn't realize that we would be voting for. I thought we were going to vote against. I actually think it's nice to vote for something. So I like that. So we're voting for keeping the bill in place and not removing it. So that's awesome. That's great information, Corinne. And yes, it is our responsibility to get the word out, to educate people and make sure they know, because if people know, they will rise to the occasion. And what a great message to send to the UEA. We have the power to break this lock that they have held on Utah for decades and decades and decades. I don't even know how long, my entire life, really, as long as I can remember. So this is a great opportunity. And your messaging has been really excellent. And thank you so much for being out there and being on the front lines. It's a huge issue. Thank you.
Parents, we're the mama bears. We are willing to take the arrows and to protect our kids. And we just need everyone in the state to rise up and join us. And if we do that, I really think we can win. We have the winning argument here. And Utah really knows how to rise, and parents know how to stand up. We watched it during COVID. We changed our state during COVID. The parents did it, and we can do it again.
We can do it again, and we must do it again.
We must.
So thank you so much, Corinne. Great information, great advice. Let's all hang together here. We can get this done. So thanks so much. Dalane. Really appreciate you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thanks. Have a beautiful day. Okay, so we have our work cut out for us. This is a great messaging. We have the power to take our state back and take our children's education back, but we must do it. So I ask everyone to make a commitment. Everyone lives in a precinct. So everyone that is hearing this, make a commitment to take your precinct. Go on Utah Parents United or there'll be several other organizations that you can get this information. All you have to do is print these flyers. Take it around and go knock your neighborhood. Go knock your precinct. Talk to people. When people hear this, they go, wow, I did not know. I thought otherwise. Because the people that signed the initiative thinking they were protecting teachers. I had 3 different people, maybe 4, that approached me asking me to sign the initiative. And so I listened to what they had to say. I'm like, so do you really believe that this protects teachers? And I even had where a teacher was in the process of signing this. And she's like, yeah, I'm signing because I want to protect teachers. I go, have you read it? Are you familiar with it? And she really believed that it protected teachers. I said, you know what? I'm a teacher too. And this does not protect teachers. This absolutely doesn't. I would invite you to read this before you vote, before you sign it. Unfortunately, she did not. We also, Corinne, since you're still here, I should look this up, but there is a way.
I don't know how to get off, Dalane. Oh, you have to boot me out.
No, I can kick you off. I'm so sorry because I know you're in a big rush, but we need to let people know how they can remove their signatures, because you do have the power to go to the state and say, I signed that based on, you can just say, I changed my mind. It was based on misinformation or false information, but I want to remove my signature, because you might not want your signature on it. It won't change.
It's public too. If you signed it, all your information goes public on a public website. And I think most people didn't know that when they signed it.
Right, when they signed it. So you might not want everyone else to know that you did that.
Yeah, you just go to UtahParentsUnited.org, and on our page, we have a whole section about removing your signature. And we have a downloadable PDF letter. You download it, sign it, and drop it off or mail it to your clerk's office, and you're done.
Okay, great. That's good to know. So go to UPU.org.
UtahParentsUnited.org.
Okay. Go UtahParentsUnited.org, and there you will be able to find out how to remove your signature. Plus, you will get the flyer. This is the most important thing.
It's not up yet. It's coming.
Oh, okay.
It's coming. The flyer's coming, because we've got, we've kind of been working on this
You've been signature
thing, and now we've got to kind of get to the next thing. So ballots in November. So like the next round of literature and things are going to be coming. So follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and then we will post there. Here's the flyer. Go print it. It's time. So if they do that.
And you know what? We need to act soon, because people will make a decision. They'll get attached to it. And then they're like, don't confuse me with the facts. I've made up my mind. We need to act quick. And then, and also the other reason is those people, once they get it, they will go out and they will influence 10 other people.
Yes.
So we do need to do it soon. And yeah, Utah Parents United have been great. There have been so many issues we've been working on. We've been working very hard on the gold bill, trying to get that override on the gold bill and some other bills. And so this is a huge thing. And we've all been busy. We all are busy. Summer's busy, but summer is a lovely time to go out, connect with your neighbors, have a barbecue, invite them all over. And while you have them there, share the flyer, explain it to them. Just get outside, go to the park, share it. Everywhere you go, I keep a stack in my car. And then wherever I go, I just pass it out to people. I made a stack so that when I see that even the petition gatherers, which are just getting paid, they don't really believe in it, but I could just share it with people and tell people. So we have the power to get the word out. So let's do it. So thank you, Corinne. I hope you have a wonderful time. Thank you so much for your hard work. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Have a great day.
Thanks, Dalane.
Okay, thank you. See ya. Okay. So I didn't really want to kick Corinne out because I really love having her, but we also do need to get to some other issues. And I know that she was very gracious to give us her time today. So we will be right back with another guest. We have Pamela Smith. She's another Liberty mom. She is amazing. And we're going to be right back with her. She'll be joining us shortly. And we're going to be talking about how important that it is that we know who we support principles and not people, that we don't worship people. We don't follow people, that we don't worship anybody but Christ and God, but that we follow principles and not ideas. Ideas are great, but we don't want to be just following people. So we'll be right back. So stay with us.